Instant match reaction, Manchester United 0, Manchester City 0. The first Manchester derby of the season ends all square with both teams walking away with a point. And to be honest, it's a fair point. You know, the game itself was really boring. The basis of it was Manchester City struggling to break Manchester United down, and then when Manchester United got our counter-attacks, we weren't clinical enough, and we didn't create hardly anything tonight. I think in the second half, we saw one shot on target. It was a very boring game, and, you know, I expected Man City to be better than they were, and, you know, the way we were playing, they should have won that game. It was just they were really, really poor at breaking us down. But, you know, I'm not taking away anything from the defence today. The defence was really, really good. Maguire was really good. Shaw was impressive. It was a great defensive performance. But going forward, you know, I don't like how we play. I don't like sitting back against these teams. It just means, it just says to me, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is scared of Manchester City. He will do the exact same against Liverpool. He will do the exact same when he plays Chelsea, when he plays the big teams, when he plays the top six. He's scared of them. And that's why he sits back and hopes we can go on a counter-attack and score a goal. That's what it comes down to, and that's what Manchester United is right now. A counter-attacking team and scared of oppositions. And, you know, that never used to be how it is. But, you know, at the end of the day, it is what it is now. We have to focus on ourselves. And, of course, I would have wanted to win this game. Of course. I want to win the Manchester derby. And, you know, the next one we play, I don't know when it is. I think it's a long time from now. I think that will be a more entertaining game because there'll be more on the line. But today's game, you know, I think both teams will be happy with a point. Manchester City more than United, maybe, I don't know, because they're probably expected to beat us, but, you know, I'll take a point. Because we're still a point ahead of City with a game in hand. If we won today, then it would have been really good, because it would have been 4 points ahead of City with a game in hand. So, you know, that would have been the best outcome, but a draw for me, it isn't bad. 5 unbeaten in the Premier League as well still, so it's all going good there, but, you know, the way we played today, we didn't create enough, and it's not good to watch. And I feel, you know, when we did have the opportunities, we didn't take them. I mean, there was a chance in the first half. I think we only had 1 or 2 chances in the first half where Bruno Fernandes was running. Lindelof found his run, and he just miskicked the volley. And it's a hard one to get to, so I don't blame Bruno Fernandes for scuffing it. But, you know, that was our only chance in the first half. City went close in the first half as well. I think Sterling went through and Maguire made a really key block, and he was brilliant today, as I said earlier. I think this is one of the games which I hope, you know, gives him confidence to go forward and have more of these games. He needs to be consistent, and we need to see him more like he was today. So I was really impressed with Maguire. But, you know, then we go into the second half, and I think there was one, as I said, the one shot on target, or 2 in the end, from both teams, I think. Or was that just Manchester United? That was a stat I heard going into the game. But, you know, the second half wasn't much better than the first. It was the same outcome. We sat too deep in the second half, I thought. And, you know, it wasn't really any better in the first half. I think the subs he made, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer made, I think, you know, did he actually bring on any subs? Oh yeah, he brought on Anthony Martial. I think that was the only sub he made. Tell me if I'm unsure about that. I must not have been like watching the game at that point. But Martial came on, and that was only it, I think. Only Martial came on. So he didn't make a big difference. So at the end of the day, as I said, I'll take a point. But one thing I want to discuss before I go on to what the team was. Why was Paul Pogba starting this game? With everything coming out. With, you know, Mini Areola coming out before that Leipzig game to say Pogba's moving on. Before one of our biggest games of the season. He disrespected our club. Paul Pogba could have said to Raiola to not say that then. He could have came out himself and said it. He could have even said to, like, straight up to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So why did he do it before the game and disrespect the club like that? But it's okay for Solskjaer to start him. What message does that send? Really, what message does that send? I feel sorry for likes of Van der Beek. And I actually feel so for like Matic, because both of them should have been playing. Van der Beek should have been playing this game instead of Pogba. Pogba should not have been playing this game, and he shouldn't be playing for the rest of the season. You don't disrespect a club like Manchester United, saying you don't want to play for us, and then be like, yeah, oh, Pogba, you'll start the next game. What message does that send? And, you know, you've got to feel sorry for the likes of Van der Beek, who's sitting on the bench thinking, he's just disrespected the club, and he's playing. It's like, it's ridiculous. I don't understand why he has done that. I think any other manager, Pep, Lampard, who else is there? Allegri, top managers wouldn't allow that. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer comes out and said, "Oh, we don't deal with stuff off the pitch. It's about being on the pitch." And Pogba loves his football. I don't care if he loves his football. I don't care if he should be. If you want him to play, don't play him. He disrespected our club, and you're playing him. It's just ridiculous. And I do not think that's a good decision. I think, and the players around him must be thinking, how has he got on the team for what he came out with? Because he could have told Raiola to not say that. He could have interrupted him and said, "Oh, leave it for another day, we can sort it behind closed doors." But he allowed him to come out and disrespect the club. That's just my opinion on it, guys. I think a lot of people are in the same boat as me. It's a bit weird. It's ridiculous that he actually played today. Yes, he was alright. Yes, he was good. And we do need him on the field. But for what he did, he can fuck off for me for what he did. He can fuck off now. And if you think we need him, if you don't, then that's your decision. But for me, it was wrong of Solskjaer to start him. But let me go onto the team. So it was obviously De Gea in net. It was a Luke Shaw. There was no Telles. I don't know why Telles didn't start. Maybe Shaw's just came back in his front line now. I don't know why that is, but he had a good game today, so I'm not going to fault him. But I don't know what was wrong with Telles. Then Maguire and Lindelof, and right back Wan-Bissaka. Then in the middle it was Pogba. It was Pogba, McTominay and Fred and Pogba, and then it was Bruno ahead of him, and then it was obviously Rashford and Greenwood up front. So that was a team. It looked like a diamond, but it was a 4-4-2, and City really struggled to break us down tonight. I think the way we set up about it, we could have done with a diamond. I thought we were going with it at the start, but it turned into a 4-4-2, and it really worked. I think defensively, obviously worked, and City struggled to get past it. So that was the team going into the game. I didn't agree with Pogba. I don't know why Van der Beek is still not playing. It seems like, why did we buy him? I've said it before. I keep going on about it. I don't want to, but it has to be said. What was the fucking point of buying Donny Van der Beek? What was the point if he's not going to play? Even when news like that with Pogba was coming out, he should be in that team. He wasn't. He should be in it anyway. Maybe alongside Pogba, but he wasn't. So for me, I don't know what's wrong with that. I don't know if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer doesn't like him or doesn't prefer him. But for me, he should be starting. He should be starting. But that was the team. So, at the end of the day, it's a point that, I'm not too upset with. I think we should have gone at City more. There was an opportunity to go at City more. But at the end of the day, we walk away with a point, and it's a fair point for both teams. There's not much really to say on the game. I don't think there was any key chances in the game. City went close. De Bruyne and Fernandes weren't in the game much. So let me just get into my player rating. So David De Gea, solid 6-9 average performance. He did what he needed to do. He made a few key saves. There was that one from Mahrez with his leg, and other than that, that was the only save he really had to make, really, other than the basic ones you expect him to make. So he's going to get a 6 for me. Could up it to a 7, but it was an average performance, and he didn't do anything wrong. Wan-Bissaka tonight, 5 for me, just below average. I thought, he had Sterling in his pocket in the last game, but today he did get a bit roasted by him in that first half when Sterling sent him. And, he lost his position a few times. I think he went forward a few times when he didn't need to. We say Wan-Bissaka. I rate the guy. But at the end of the day, he doesn't offer as much to Manchester United as we probably thought he did. We had to be honest here, but we had to stick behind him. But he wasn't as good as him. He's a very inconsistent player, is what I'm trying to say. So he gets a 5. Then Maguire tonight, solid 7. You could have that to an 8. I thought this was probably one of his best games in a United shirt. I'm saying that because normally you see him maybe tussling his own players, making fouls he doesn't need to. And yes, he fouled Jesus once towards the end when he didn't need to. But the blocks he was making today, the positions he was getting into to make the blocks, he wasn't messing around with the ball. He lost it once. But overall, brilliant from Maguire today. And you can't really say that many times, can you? So you got to praise him. And the blocks he made were key blocks as well, because we could have lost this game if it wasn't for him. Lindelof, I'm going to give him a 6, an average performance from him. I thought Maguire was a lot better, but overall, Lindelof, yet again, didn't do too much wrong. I think defensively, he got back when he needed to. He did what he needed to. And, a good performance from Lindelof as well. So he gets a 6. And then Luke Shaw tonight, a 7 or 8. Again, I'm probably going to go for an 8 for Luke Shaw. I think he was man of the match for me. I thought, coming into the team just after his injury, we know he's played a game against PSG. Against Leipzig. But, brilliant from Luke Shaw today. The tackles he was making defensively, he was really good. There was times when Ferran Torres, I think his name is, was going through, and Luke Shaw just handled him every single time. It was a fantastic performance from Luke Shaw today, and we hope to see more of that because he was good before his injury. So he hasn't lost anything obviously, and he did save us a few times today as well. So he's going to get an 8 for me. But I'm going to give Maguire an 8 as well. Actually, I think they both deserve it after this performance. Then McTominay, 6, average performance from him. Didn't do too much wrong. His passing's very inconsistent. He gets back when he needs to. We've seen worse from McTominay is what I'm trying to say. We've seen worse. And then Fred, again, is fantastic to have Fred back in the team. His energy, his willing to go forward, his willing to get back. Yes, he had an injury in the first half, but he wanted to continue. He thrived to continue. And, we missed him. We missed his energy in midfield, and I'm glad we have him back because, there's obviously that stat. 83 or 85% of the games he's in, we win. So, we haven't lost again with Fred today. So, at the end of the day, I'm happy to have Fred back in, and a very good performance from him. So, he gets a 7 for me today. Pogba, a 7 as well. I thought Pogba, coming in, I didn't agree with it, but you've got to rate him as his on his performance, not on the things going on outside the pitch. So I think he's gonna get a 7 today. Brilliant from Pogba going forward. I thought he was good. He tried to create chances. There wasn't much to do because of the way we set up and how we were playing. But overall his general game today was impressive, and he's been good recently against West Ham, against PSG, against not against PSG because he wasn't playing. Against thingy today. Against who are we playing today? Who are we fucking playing today? We were playing Manchester City. My mind's going, guys. I'm getting tired, I think. So at the end of the day, I'm gonna give him a 7. Brilliant performance on him. Bruno, 6 for me. An average performance on Bruno again. It's another game where he hasn't done much. He tried stuff towards the end, but overall he couldn't do much today, I don't think. So we can't really blame him on that. But the chances he tried to make, he had a good few 1-2s with Wan-Bissaka. But other than that, it was a very boring game where we couldn't create much because of how we set up. So he's going to get a 6 from me. We probably need to see a bit more from him. I don't think over the last couple of games he has been poor. So, at the end of the day, I'm not going to slate him too much because, you can't slate Bruno Fernandes right now, but he gets a 6 from me. Average performance from him. So then, going forward in the attacking roles, obviously Marcus Rashford, he's going to get... They're both going to get a 5 or 6 from me. I think, they weren't too bad going forward. They tried to create, but it wasn't a match for the attackers. When we did have the opportunities, they didn't do much. They couldn't be clinical enough. So for me, both of those get a 5 tonight. I give them a just below average because they couldn't do much today. But, they tried. But other than that, Martial came on, 5, give him an average. Didn't do too much. And I didn't notice who else came on. I don't think anyone else did come on. But they're my player ratings, guys. As I said, man of the match, Luke Shaw. Tell me what you guys think down below. The first Manchester derby of the season ends all square with both teams walking away with a point. We now have to move on to midweek where I do think we play Sheffield United. So we need to be getting 3 points there realistically. We may struggle because of the way they play, but I have a preview of that, guys. Tell me your thoughts on the game below. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll be there with a preview for the Sheffield game.